Good morning. Welcome along to Pre-Season Live, where Leicester City have a double game day. They've had all these double sessions out in Austria, and now they're putting those skills to the test with two challenges today, starting with Karpaty Lviv this morning and then FC Köln this afternoon. So 10:30 kickoff this morning, and we've got all the action for you here on Fox's Hub. I'm Lewis Mason, and I'm delighted to be joined by Fox's legends, Jerry Taggart and Matt Elliott. How are we?
Good, Lewis. Good, mate. Yeah.
Good
Ready for another mammoth day of football?
Double game day, eh? Yeah. Do you remember a day like this as player? Did you used to have these double fixtures in one day?
Nope.
Not from memory, Tags, no?
No, absolutely not.
I remember playing a couple of games that felt like 180 minutes, but particularly in pre-season. But no, it's a bit of a novelty, isn't it? It'd be interesting to see how it works. Sometimes you get a game following another, possibly, and then there's multiple changes, etc. But no, it's a little bit out of the norm, isn't it, for sure?
Does that show how things have changed squad-wise type and squad size?
I think so. I think the squad size has something to do with it. So they've got to accommodate the majority of the players while they're out in pre-season. All the players need minutes under their belt. So they're probably logistically not the best, but I'm sure they've managed the logistics to a point where they make the transition as smooth as possible. But as far as minutes in the players' legs, then it's important that they accommodate the size of the squad that they have. And so that's probably why you're seeing this today.
Well, let's take a look at the team who will be playing the first game. So, of course, Marty Cifuentes thinking about his squad and how he's going to use them in these two games. And starting with Karpaty Lviv this morning, this is the side that we'll see in action. So we've got Stevie Bowser in goal, then the back line of Hamza Chowdhury, Caleb Akoli, Wout Faes and Luke Thomas. The midfield too, if you like, Boubakary Soumaré and Wilfred Ndidi, with Bilal El Khanous ahead in that 10 role. Then out wide, got Jake Evans, Will Alves supporting Patson Dhaka through the middle. So that's how things are looking from a Leicester City starting lineup point of view. Usually during the league season, I'll turn to you now and say, what do you think of the team lineup? But it's a bit different at this stage of their preparation.
Yeah, I think as well, you've got to try and get the balance of the team right. Okay, looks like Hamza Chowdhury obviously playing fullback, which he can do, but it's not probably his favourite position. But again, I think looking at that, Fuentes is probably looking at, the attacking side of the team there. With Boubakary Soumaré and Ndidi. Similar types of players in that holding role. Then obviously an attacking forward. Luke Thomas will get forward. Hamza will get up and support. But again, it's the main priority here is number one, minutes in the legs. And then number two is understanding what the manager's trying to implement into the team.
We've seen Hamza Chowdhury in that right-back position on various occasions, including Saturday just gone. So he must have made a bit of an impact with Marty Cifuentes thinking he's the one who could do a job there. Without
a doubt, in my mind, Hamza can do a job there. I mean, you've got numerous other individuals who can also play in that position. James Justin, Ricardo Pereira, just two that spring to mind. But I was fortunate enough to be involved in the academy. I mentioned it a few times about Hamza. The two things I noticed about him, one was his attitude. And for me, he had that little bit of an edge that could make him go on and further his career, as he has done. But also, as a right back, no one got past him. Now, I say that, and I'll set myself up for it now. As I did when he played against Tottenham at Wembley, he played at right back, and he had an absolute nightmare, in truth. He got skinned, which I was hugely surprised at, but that was a one-off. You see how he's so sharp, so quick-footed and strong in the tackle as well, and times it well. He's a winger's nightmare at times, and hopefully he'll prove that today and can get on the ball and get forward as well. So, but the main thing is, as Jerry says, for me, it's not really about team selections. The strength in depth that Leicester have is evident today with the two squads, and there's a surplus on the bench, and there's a couple of injuries, etc. So that's, have to wait and see how that unfolds. But for me, it's about watching what the manager is trying to get across to the players, what little changes there are, and the detail in the play.
And also, there'll be some players that the manager will be looking at and may have a different take on other managers have had in the past. So it's all down to his own interpretation about why he wants certain people to play in this position, or why he's putting Ndidi and Somali together, because it's his decision at the end of the day, and who and how he wants to play that counts. So he needs to have a good look and interpret what he sees on the pitch into how he wants to implement it going into the season.
Because when we think about it, it's only, a week since Marty Cifuentes has been here, being able to get those ideas in place. One thing that I think a lot of Leicester fans will be excited about, Jake Evans and Will Alves, from the start today, seeing what they can do and giving them an opportunity to prove that.
Yeah, both very talented individuals, both earned their opportunity, really, to get involved at first team level. Some people were sort of clamouring for Alves to be involved a little bit more at the back end of last season. But I think they're more likely to get opportunities this time round, really, with the level that Leicester are at now in the Championship as well. And again, we talk about the size of the squad. Perhaps there's going to be a little bit of movement to and fro-in along that way. But certainly over the course of the season, if not from the start, Evans and Alves will be looking to force themselves into the reckoning. And
they look hungry, don't they?
Yeah, no, exactly right.
In the games I've seen, they look hungry.
It's maybe what other players need as well. Just that little, little shove, little impetus from the younger players makes the other players stand up and take notice, really. But listen, if they impress, even here in pre-season, who knows? Who knows whether they'll get the opportunity or not? Because lots of a big squad or not. I think there's going to be more of a focus on the younger aspect of the squad.
Well, certainly what they've been trying to do, of course, since Marty Cifuentes arrived, is impress the manager. One of those is Oliver Skipp, and he's been talking to Dan Bates.
New managers come in, implementing his new style, and still work in progress, but I think you'll start to see some of the ideas that the manager wants being implemented in the games coming up.
Skippy, how's this 10 days been?
Yeah, it's been really good. The new managers come in, implementing his new style, and it's just good for us to understand in like a good week's block what the manager wants from us. And it's still work in progress, but I think you'll start to see some of the ideas that the manager wants being implemented in the games coming up.
I guess it's been a good opportunity for you all to take on board what the new manager has to say, because the first session, pretty much of it, his second session, was out here, and the rest of it, then you're starting to learn those ideas.
Exactly, especially because you're here with the group for 24 hours a day, so it makes things easier to get messaging across, to have those meetings where you might not ordinarily get that chance. So it's been good to understand what the manager wants, and there's lots of work that we need to do to keep reinforcing that idea, but it's been a good start so far.
We're getting to the stage of pre-season now where you're getting tests, aren't you? And are you looking forward to the game?
Yeah, really looking forward to it. I think boys will get longer minutes now, so that's a good test again to push and see. It's been a tough pre-season, like you'd imagine, and it'd be nice to get some more minutes under the legs for boys and to keep pushing and to get that fitness right back where it needs to be.
Yeah, it's a good point that you make, that obviously in the other friendlies, minutes have been managed, haven't they? But now, because it is two completely different games, it'll be two completely different squads, which naturally, presumably means individual players are going to get more minutes.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know the exact plan at the moment, but I think it'll be clear for everyone to see what the manager's ideas are. And of course, it's early stages, but we've got to be ready because only 2 weeks after that is the first game. So, we need to make sure that we're getting those ideas and the philosophy that he wants on the pitch, and we'll be looking to do that.
Body-wise, do you feel ready for 90 minutes?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a tough pre-season, but these days people come back in good shape, and I think that lads will be ready for 90 minutes if that was needed. Yeah,
like you said, Fiorentina then the weekend after, and then the start of the season. It's getting to that exciting stage now of pre-season.
Yeah, really exciting, and it comes around so quickly. Like, the end obviously ended disappointingly, but moving on from that, and we've got to be ready. And the season starts so quick, and with the Championship, how many games come thick and fast. Like, even in the first week, there's a midweek game after. So we know that we need to be ready from day one.
There we go, Oliver Skipp in conversation with Dan Bates. It's interesting, we're seeing Somare and Ndidi this morning, so we expect we'll probably see Skipp and maybe Harry Winks in the later game today. But just taking those four names as central midfielders going into a Championship season, it's not a bad place for Leicester to be.
No, exactly. I mean, that's just one example of quite a few of the depth that Leicester have. Listen, a lot of people, rightly so, disappointed at the end of last season, or more than disappointed. But people sort of predicting doom and gloom for Leicester. But when the fog clears, if you like, and you have a look at the situation, you look at that squad, it's decent for the Championship. Now, we'll have to see how much it remains intact over the next couple of weeks or month even or so. But, yeah, you look at it, there's reason for optimism. One or two additions maybe in certain areas, but not many teams have got the quality that Leicester have got in the Championship level.
It's probably too deep.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you take Hams out of that right back position, stick him back in midfield, and you've got 5 midfielders. And that's just them, never mind the younger lads coming through and whatever else. Up for maybe 2 spots, and maybe that can cause an issue in the long term. In the short term, i.e. pre-season, everyone's vying for 2 spots, basically. Maybe 3. But realistic 3 if El Kanous, who you would assume is going to play if he's still here.
That's similar throughout.
Yeah.
All the positions, really, when you look at it, just running through my head. But you know, centre half, full back, out wide, etc.
You see,
up front,
like even at the back, you know, you've got young Ben Nelson. He's on the bench, and he's a young player who a lot of the fans want to see a bit more of.
Well, the players are coming out onto the pitch for today's first pre-season friendly against Karpaty Lviv, and we can join our commentary team of Dan Bates and Owen Palmer-Atkin.
Good morning and welcome along to Austria for another pre-season game for the Foxes. We are at the Sports Zentrum here in Friedberg for Leicester City against Karpaty Lviv. This is of course the first of a double header today. Available all for you on Foxes Hub and on YouTube as well. So 2 completely different squads playing in 2 completely different games. The later game against FC Köln will take place at, well, 4:30 English time, 5:30 here in Austria. Let me run through the team news then very quickly, starting with Leicester City. We'll just run through the Foxes starting 11 for now. So it's Stevie Bassor in goal. It's a back 4 of Chowdhury, Fass, Okoli and Luke Thomas. In midfield, it's Bouba Soumaré and Wilfred Ndidi. Will Alves, Bilal El Kanous and Jake Evans provide the threat just behind Patson Dhaka, who leads the line for the Foxes this morning. This is the last day, of course, of this pre-season camp here in Austria. It's been a fantastic 10 days. It's been a brilliant opportunity for Martí Cifuentes to immediately come in and have this time with his squad to implement his ideas, get to know his players, the players to really reintegrate with each other after the summer off. And 2 games today will give the opportunity for Cifuentes to see a lot more of his players getting a lot more minutes. We assume that there will be players getting 90 minutes, of course, this afternoon, which we haven't seen yet really in pre-season. So it'll be interesting to see how that shapes up. We are pretty much ready to go here in Friedberg. FC Karpaty Lviv kicking off for us, the Ukrainian Premier League side. They finished 6th in the top division last season. They'll face a good test for Leicester. El Kanous immediately closing down the goalkeeper here. And Leicester win it back high. Here's El Kanous. Captain's armband again for Hamza Chowdhury today, just as it was at the start of that game against Zalagerszek just under a week ago. Chowdhury now to El Kanous. Indeed, in Soumaré using the ball well in midfield, going back to Okoli. Early chance now for Evans. Good defending though from Denis Miroshichenko on the left-hand side. He has the captain's armband for Lviv. And it's nice to say a very warm welcome to a co-commentator today, which we didn't have for the Zalagershik game just under a week ago. BBC Radio Leicester's Owen Palmer-Atkin has joined me. Owen, welcome to Austria. Welcome to the opening few minutes of this game. What have you made? You've been out here, what, a couple of days now, haven't you? You've spoken to the manager, you've spoken to a couple of the players, you saw a little bit of training yesterday. It's been the end of a long but very successful camp for the group.
Yeah, I think having spoken to the manager and a couple of the players yesterday as well as part of this training camp, you can see that real positivity from what Martí Cifuentes is trying to instill in this Leicester City side, and that feeling you get from the players as well. And they seem to be, having watched the very early stages of this game, Dan, beginning to ramp up the momentum, ramp up the pressure, and you can really start to see that Martí Cifuentes philosophy being imprinted on these players now. Yeah, you imagine it will take time. That's what, I guess this camp came at a really good time for him, didn't he? Because he could spend 10 intense days getting across his messages. There was a lot of team meetings, a lot of double sessions, opportunities for him to do that. I'm sure he would have, you know, ideally would have liked to have been at Leicester City from the very beginning of pre-season in order to try and get, you know, have those first couple of weeks to try and get the philosophy and the tactical side of this game onto the players. But actually being here in Austria is probably the next best thing for him, isn't it? You know, as you say, spending 24 hours a day with these players, getting to know them as footballers, but as people, more importantly as well, ahead of what's going to be a really important season for the club. Alves wins a throw-in over on Leicester's left. We were talking before, Owen, weren't we, about Will Alves, El Kanous, Jake Evans in behind Dhaka, which way round that might be. It looks as if it is Alves on the left, El Kanous in the traditional central 10 role. Yeah, I'll give you your just desserts for that, Dan. You called that one. Setting you up for that. Yeah, and actually, Will Alves, such an exciting player and can operate in all three of those positions, can't he? And proved his worth at championship level almost with Cardiff City last season. And it's going to be exciting for him. He's been at the club a long time, and I think Leicester fans really excited to see what he's able to bring. And actually, the way that you can see already, actually, they have made a little bit of a switch as Will Alves has gone to really press the goalkeeper, but Bilal El Kanous has jumped out to that left-hand side. So it does look fluid between those pair, and that will cause problems. Early ball in, looking for the striker. I think he may have been offside. Borsa, though, quickly off his line. Young, huge Leicester fan, Stevie Borsa, the goalkeeper. This will be a really proud moment for him in goal starting today. Yeah. El Kanous, lovely. Thomas, good again from Alves. He loses out this time, but immediately it's won back. One thing, Owen, I'm sure you would have kept an eye on it in that previous game. Leicester winning the ball back so high, and they're really quick, actually, when they don't have it, to get as many bodies around the ball and around the opposition players as they can. Yeah, it's a real swarm, isn't it? When they lose the ball, it's effectively a game of how long that it takes for them to then go and win that ball back. And actually, if you are able to win the ball high up in the pitch, you can really punish those sides. Rather than waiting for it to move into the middle or even your defensive third, if you're able to win it back there, it does give you an opportunity to catch whoever the opposition is out there. And actually, that's an important part of Martí Cifuentes' game, and even in the opening 5 minutes here, we've seen quite a lot of that. The pressing, even Caleb Okoli here, almost in a right wing position, trying to win the ball back. It's a real focus. Bruninho, Brazilian, central midfielder for Karpaty Lviv. He's remonstrating a little bit with his teammates there for not getting the option, but he was marshalled well by Caleb Okoli. Miroshichenko, loose ball in for Buba Samari. His touch is slightly loose. He's not happy there. Clearly, Buba Samari feels he didn't touch the man in midfield. Pablo Alvarez, the number 23 for Lviv.
Booba may well have had a case there. He seemed to recover from that knock quite pretty quickly.
Here's Alvarez. Just below us now. Miroshichenko. Long, searching, fantastic ball out. Here's Karabin. His ball in is towards Krasnipor. It's just long for him. Terrific ball from the left back there. Kostenko.
They've looked for that ball a few times, haven't they, in the opening 6 minutes or so, over the top of either fullback, whether that be Luke Thomas or Hamza Chowdhury.
And here he is doing defensive action again. Thomas, neatly done. Samare. Jake Evans just below us here. Alves, loose touch. Thomas gets it back. Seeing a lot of the ball, Owen, aren't they, Leicester?
They are, and I think that was maybe to be expected. This is, of course, a Ukrainian Premier League side, but Leicester should have the quality, particularly when you look at some of these players as established Premier League players over the years, to control the ball. And again, that's another big impact of what Martí Cifuentes is trying to have, isn't he? To really go and control the game, control the ball, and to play things the way they want to, just as Johan Cruyff, his inspiration at Barcelona, did way back when. And it's good to see as well. It's good to see a team, you know, playing with a clear identity.
That is a train that you can hear in the background going past, just as there was actually for that game in Hungary. Babagola. Dangerous ball, but it does find his captain Miroshchenko, but it was only just over Jake Evans' head. Chakua out for Karabin to run at Luke Thomas, but he's stopped by that Leicester left-hand side. Thomas and Alves combining, and now they can break. Here's Will Alves. It's 3 versus 3, or even 3 versus 2 now. Alves, can he find the right pass? Jake Evans is in here on the right. The ball was slightly behind him. Evans for Dhaka. Dhaka shoots just wide.
It's a really good opening bit of play from Will Alves, the way he spun on the ball there and waited for the right time to make the pass. It's just that final little bit of quality there to find Jake Evans, maybe a little bit earlier to maybe take a touch and get a shot away, but actually that little bit of creativity in the midfield is all about what Will Alves is about, really. Dhaka unlucky with the strike as well, a real instinct attempt of a finish, wasn't it, to just spin on the ball and strike it goalwards. He'll be desperate to get on the score sheet, I'm sure, Dan.
Babaglo's ball forward is met by Luke Thomas. Yeah, it kind of came from nowhere, that break, a little bit, didn't he? Thomas and Alves won it back, and then Thomas played a neat ball which broke the midfield lines, and Alves was away, and suddenly, yeah, it was 3-on-2.
So good at picking up those positions, Will Alves, coming in from, if he's playing in a wide position, to move into the inside channel where there may be a little bit of space, as he did there, or if he's playing centrally, to move out wide to pick up the pieces. He's always seems to be a player who's got a little bit of space around him. That's a real skill.
Kohli now to Chowdhury. Elkanous and Dhaka press, indeed he comes with them. Pavlenko, nicely done. Ball into Chachua. Samari again, not happy. I think that probably was a free kick that time, Owen.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one. He's just actually done...
He's done well to get back.
What he needed to do for the team, hasn't he, there? Just a clip on the ankles. Be a painful one, though. For Chachua in the midfield.
Yeah, very much a creative force. He's played 95 times for Lviv. 23 goals and 14 assists. So a lot of play does go through him. Miroshenko. Again, that same ball nearly finds the man we've been talking about, Chachua, there. Twice now.
He got himself in a bit of a pocket there, didn't he, Chachua? Just after that free kick was given away, just moved and kind of walked past and bypassed the midfield into that space in front of the Leicester City back line, and almost had he had that ball been just a little bit more accurate, could have found himself through.
Chowdhury does well to deal with a difficult ball. Here's Kostenko. Looks to take on Ndidi. Neatly done by Samare. Dhaka, good touch. Evans is away if he fancies sending it, he doesn't. He instead plays it back. And Borsa can't get there, and a little bit sloppily, Leicester give away a corner.
Yeah, Jake Evans was the ball on down the line there, wasn't he? Had made the run, perhaps looking for that chip ball down this touchline to try and get himself away over the top of the fullback, but Patson Dhaka decided the better option would be to go backwards, and now they've got a bit of a sticky situation to try and defend.
Evans there, just doing the right thing.
He wasn't going to wait for a second invitation, was he, to put that ball safely out of play.
Domchak, only 18 years old, the Lviv goalkeeper. Samare looks for Dhaka. Domchak doesn't take any chances. Thomas battles. Doesn't foul Karabin. And Samare finds Evans. He's one-on-one now with the left back. What can he produce? It's good defending from Miroshenko, who can come away. Evans quickly back, though. He's frustrated a little bit there with himself. He felt he could beat him.
Miroshenko used all of that experience there, didn't he? Just waited for Evans, who wanted to step inside. Lviv captain just read it really well.
Pedroso. Kostenko back to the goalkeeper. Neat turn from Branino. Good hold-up play there from Krasnoport. Clearly he's quite tall, isn't he? Owen, they'll look for that out ball, I guess, whenever they're in a spot of danger as the right back was there, and he's just done well to hold off Wout fast, buys himself the free kick.
Good battle between those pair, wasn't it? Both big, broad-shouldered players. I think Krasnopar has maybe just a little bit of height on Wout fast, but the City defender wasn't letting him get that turn on there and gave away the free kick in the process. Will be a good battle though between those three, with the Lviv striker and then of course the two Leicester central defenders in Akoli and Fars.
Here he is again, this time indeed he's there. And he buys himself a free kick. Chowdhury, Evans. Oh, brilliant tracking from Jake Evans to win the ball back.
Yeah, was a little frustrated with himself again there, wasn't he, for giving the ball away in the 1-2 with Chowdhury.
Pedrosa. Miroshnichenko. Thomas in quickly. Alves. Oh, he's unlucky there with Alves because he had got away from the defender before the referee blew her whistle. It looked like a firm, but from here, fair challenge from Luke Thomas.
Yeah, this replay will tell us a little bit more, I think.
Gets the ball. Bruninho. Coley does well. The Brazilian, though, bites back. You often see, don't you, Brazilians in the Ukrainian league. I think Shakhtar Donetsk have had a number in their time.
Of course, where Leicester City were able to find Tete as well. His debut against Aston Villa, that will be a day I don't think Leicester City fans will forget in a hurry.
Brazilian flags everywhere in that away end. Miroshnichenko. Pedrosa.
I've enjoyed the emphasis of the width on this Leicester City team. You rarely see Jake Evans or Will Alves going any more narrow than the centre circle.
Krasnopar away from Akoli. Questions of a penalty there. It comes back to Bruninho, well blocked from Ndidi. We'll go out for a corner. Akoli just had to be careful there.
Yeah, he's very aggressive, isn't he? In the tackle is Caleb Akoli. Wants to always get involved, wants to go and win that ball. It's a real natural instinct, and on the basis of that replay, maybe slightly fortunate to have not given a penalty away.
Oh, header just wide. Pedrosa coming up from the back there. From this angle, looked as if it might have just snuck in the corner, but it didn't. One goal for him during his time with Lviv.
It's a really, really good climb on Hamza Chowdhury. Doesn't connect as cleanly maybe with it as he would have liked into the side of his head rather than the forehead to guide it into that bottom corner.
El Khanous, nice back heel towards Thomas. Krasnopar, back to Bruninho. Samari and Ndidi slipping. Pretty much simultaneously. Miroshnichenko. Wide to Karabin. Thomas blocks well.
Just like Leicester, they are waiting for that ball over into the wide positions, aren't they? They're getting there a slightly different way, often with that lofted pass, Leicester working it into the midfield before driving it into those wide areas. Still a real emphasis on the width on both sides.
Miroshenko. Wayward and out of the stadium. That one from the Lviv captain.
May have been a few nervous watcher
with the cars.
There with the cars in behind.
Coley. Held up well by Dhaka. He did that well as well against Peterborough and Leuven and ZTE in the previous pre-season games, as Hamza comes forward, finds Evans. Very much two-footed, Jake Evans. And to Ndidi. Feigns the back heel and wins his side of corner.
It's good play from Ndidi, just using Chowdhury as a little bit of a dummy there in order to get the cross into the box, and Patson Dhaka actually made a really good run into the penalty area there after holding the ball up much deeper in the pitch to try and get on the end of that Ndidi cross. Leicester will settle for the corner though.
To be taken by El Kanous. Domchak there just marshalling his defenders in front of him. What can the Moroccan produce from this corner? We'll have a second bite of the cherry here. It's a better ball in. Keeper decides to punch. Ndidi back for Fass. Alves. Well read by Fass. Ndidi. Dhaka's made a good run. Ndidi tries to find him. Thought he was going to wind up for a QPR style strike there. Well, Fass.
He thought about it for a second, didn't he?
Here's Ndidi. Alves, nicely away from his man. Couldn't find El Kanous.
Really good pressing play that from Patson Dhaka and Bilal El Kanous, just waiting, cutting off the angles and making the young keeper Domchak go long in the end, and it was exactly the press that Leicester were after. They could have gone racing and really harrying the Lviv keeper.
Yeah, they're tending to let him have the ball, aren't they, and then stopping any easy passes.
Yeah. And I think when you have a back line, Hamza's got a tremendous leap on him, but then Caleb Okoli and Wout Fass in the back, and Ndidi sitting just in front. Luke Thomas is more than capable of winning headers as well. It does offer a solution rather than chasing up that end of the pitch. If they can force Lviv to go long, they do have a good chance of winning that ball back a lot quicker. Which again is what we've seen, isn't it? Part and parcel of the Martí Cifuentes way, wanting to win that ball high like they have here.
El Kanous picks up on it, drives inside, couldn't find Dhaka. His touch was just a bit too heavy there. It was a poor ball from Miroshenko this time. They have been playing with fire somewhat, the full-backs and the balls they've been playing so far. That time, Leicester couldn't capitalise on it. Chowdhury there sliding in on Bruninia.
But they're just picking up the position, just waiting, aren't they? For as and when the mistake is made, are they able to capitalise?
Miroshnichenko. Chowdhury showing his experience there. Very versatile, isn't he? Whether he's playing in that midfield role, which you'd say he's more accustomed to, or even at right back, he's really made that berth his own in the last couple of years. Dhaka doing well there on this right-hand side. Will he look to take it quick? Evans joins him.
Yeah, I think Hamza Chowdhury being able to play in a number of different positions, he was so important to Enzo Maresca the last time Leicester in the Championship, being able to fill in as that Ricardo inverted fullback, being able to play in midfield, but also has that skill set, doesn't he, to be able to play at fullback, the ability to get up and down. He's got a brilliant engine.
And you know how good he is defensively. I mean, well, Matt Elliott says it all the time, that when he was working with the younger players and Hamza when he was younger, that he's never seen many players better at tackling than Hamza Chowdhury. He said very rarely would he let people dribble past him. What a ball that was from El Khanous. Borsa, long and forward towards Evans. Good strength from Jake Evans. Wins inside a free kick. For a 16-year-old, he's well built already, Owen, isn't he? Let's tempers flaring somewhat here in this pre-season friendly.
Yeah, I'm not too sure that Pedroso was expecting to hit that kind of challenge with Jake Evans. Just kind of nonchalantly just chipped it over him, didn't he? And actually was met with a real strong interception.
He's done really well there. And Thomas and El Khanous over this free kick.
Great.
It's a really good looking ball in. And it was met at the back post, wasn't it, by Bouba Samari. If anything, it was just maybe a half a foot too high, but terrific ball in from El Khanous.
He's fantastic at that, isn't he? It was very similar, actually, to the Caleb Okoli goal at Brighton towards the end of last season. Similar position and a similar diving header from Bouba Soumaré. Unfortunately, not the same result there. So good at picking out those real danger spots, though, is Bilal El Khanous from dead ball situations.
Krasnopor fouling Ndidi there. El Khanous. Evans almost spinning away from Pavlenko there. Still only 20 years old with Alves. Really bright future ahead of him. Meanwhile, at the other end, Okoli has some defending to do. And he does it well.
Yeah, did just enough, did what he had to do, didn't he? He wasn't, I don't think he was beginning to get into territory there where he may well have been beaten in that foot race, but did just enough to stick out that toe and put the ball behind. He's asking for a free kick, and you can see why there was a little bit of a push there, but striker getting the benefit of the doubt on that occasion.
Okoli. As ever, every moment this season you can follow with us on Fox's Hub, on YouTube. There are a number of passes available for you already. Early bird packages as well as international, seasonal video and seasonal listen live passes are on offer for you. For more information, all you need to do is head to Fox's Hub, head to the website, you'll get all the information that you need on there. And you can follow us as we chart Leicester City's 25-26 season in the Championship. That one's given away by Thomas. Karabin with the ball in. Hamza does enough. Now the fullback to put off Kostenko, who's going for the header. Here's Borsa now. Pedrosa. Aboglo. Pressing again from Leicester is really good from Patson Dhaka. Domchak goes short. Fascinating story, Karpaty Lviv. Back in 2020. Meanwhile, here's Knus. The club was declared bankrupt. They dropped out of the Ukrainian Premier League. They had to reform. And reform they did fantastically well. Because now within 5 years they've been promoted a number of times. They're back in the Ukrainian Premier League, finished 6th last season as well. So a real resurgence from the club from Lviv. They start their league campaign a week on Sunday. They play Policia, so this is their final friendly before the competitive action starts for them. It was a similar story, wasn't it, with ZTE last week. These teams will be just slightly ahead of where Leicester are then in terms of levels of fitness and pre-season, but the Foxes have battled well here so far. 34 minutes in, we've only seen really the one chance for the Foxes. It was a nice breakaway. Dhaka slid his shot just wide, Owen, but they've seen a lot more of the ball, haven't they, than the Ukrainian side.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that they've been on top, Leicester City, in this game so far. Of course, there was a couple of good chances for Lviv that they didn't take advantage of, but that Patson Dhaka effort does strike you as probably the best chance in this game.
Yeah, there might be another one here as Ndidi, as runners forward, he turns, comes back to Hamza.
But they have dominated the ball, haven't they? They've been very good in possession so far. They've held their width, and you are beginning to see that gameplay, that philosophy, the tactical idea of Martí Cifuentes being imprinted on these players.
Nice from Will Alves. El Knus. Dhaka keeps it alive. Evans on his chest. You can see what he was trying to do. Samari's header back leaves a one-on-one now. Fass is quick. We know how quick Fass is. We know how strong Wout Fass is. Really good defending from the Belgian international there.
And as soon as Fast won the ball there, Marti Cifuentes jumped out of his technical area and was urging his players to get forward. They really want to compact that the Lviv half as soon as they win the ball.
There's Samari, a little bit of time. El Khanous somewhat fortuitously comes away with that. The ball, though, for Thomas or Alves doesn't work out. And again, the Ukrainians will come forward now. Kostenko. One-on-one with Hamza Chowdhury. That's a good bit of defending again. Reiterating, really, what we were saying earlier about Chowdhury's defensive acumen. He's taken a little breather there. He's done a lot of running on this right-hand side
already, and you know, that was another perfect example of the aggression that Marti Cifuentes wants from his Leicester City players as well, and maybe that's why we might see quite a bit of Hamza Chowdhury this season, because he does fit in with that level of aggression that he will want from his defenders and his midfielders as well, to try and win the ball and get Leicester back in control quickly.
Indeed, he heads away from the corner. Alvarez. Searching ball for Miroshichenko, who keeps it in well. Alves, though, in the right-back position, does well, plays a nice ball down this line. Evans happy, though, to let Lviv go back to their goalkeeper. As I said, their league campaign starts a week on Sunday. That is, of course, the same day Leicester play their final pre-season game as we build up to the start of the championship season. Fiorentina at King Power Stadium. That game available, of course, with us, and also tickets are available for that one. So it'll be the last chance to see the Foxes before the season starts. Head again onto the website to secure your tickets for that one.
All three of these final pre-season games are a good test, though, aren't they? Because of, as you mentioned, Dan, the fact that Lviv play their first game a week on Sunday, they might be slightly ahead in terms of their schedule. That gives a fitness aspect, and then against a new promoted Bundesliga side in Cologne later today, Fiorentina. These are, you know, big teams in their respective countries for Leicester to try and find a way to beat them and impose their style and showcase what they can do.
Alvarez. Yeah, I think a lot of people were questioning what Marti Cifuentes might have done today with this. You know, somewhat... He had a few questions, really, didn't he? 2 games in one day, what he would do squad-wise. Which seems to be a nice mix, a bit of a balance that he's gone for.
Yeah, I think when you look at the squad, and you know, when Marti Cifuentes spoke to us earlier in the week, he talked about how big the squad was at this moment in time, and the fact that, you know, there is a lot of players that the club are trying to deal with, but what that does in turn leave is a lot of players, a lot of very good players to play in these 2 games. You know, you're talking of you know, hundreds of Premier League appearances just for Wilfred Ndidi alone. So there is a good mix of experience, and then of course the younger players being brought in, and those players like Jake Evans and the goalkeeper Stevie Borza, of course Will Alves. Any minutes they're able to get with the likes of Wilfred Ndidi, Wout Faes, Luke Thomas, Hamza Chowdhury, Patson Dhaka, who have all of these Leicester City appearances under their belt, will only be good for their development as well.
Speaking of development, chance for Alves to run, he loses it. Faes, good again from the Belgian. Alves. Bruninho. Back to Alvarez, in towards Bruninho again. Nice little flick. Chachua. Carabin now. That's over Hamza Chowdhury's head, and the captain with an acrobatic effort. Thankfully wasn't on target, and Evans there, strong and clever enough to win his side another free kick.
And Bruninho knew he wasn't winning that race against the 16-year-old, didn't he? And decided,
he knew what he was doing,
I'm going to have to bring this young man to ground. Because there was an awful lot of grass in front of Evans there to run into and take advantage of. They'll be the kind of opportunities he'll be waiting for.
Samare. Dhaka gives chase, great touch. Alves, what can he produce? Thomas towards Evans. Akoli. Only Dhaka really in the box at the minute. And Didi. Back to Akoli. Too much on that one from Samare. You can tell it is still pre-season, Owen, can't you? Just a little moments like that, you think those types of passes, they will come, and whether we see it against Fiorentina before Sheffield Wednesday, it's just getting used to it again, getting used to the feel of a ball at your feet in a game.
There's also the added complication of the different ways in which the manager wants to build the pitch and build in certain areas. If he's asking his midfielders to play those kinds of balls for the overlapping fullbacks or the wingers into those corners, it's they will have to spend a little bit of time, and they can do it as much as they like in training, but the real test will always be in games to try and make sure that that they are able to do it effectively. It's only when you're playing against a competitive opponent that you get the best fitness and you're able to get the best practice in for those kind of movements and combinations that Marti Cifuentes will hope to see against Sheffield Wednesday on that opening day of the season. Not too far away now though, Dan. It's really creeping up fast.
It is indeed. Just over 2 weeks to go, of course. And you can catch every minute with us on Fox's Hub. It's a 4:30 kickoff. 2 weeks on Sunday. That means we'll be live with Matchday Live an hour before that at 3:30. As we hope to see a winning start to the new campaign at King Power Stadium, and a winning start in his first competitive game for Marti Cifuentes. Here's a Coley. Good ball. Evans. Nice touch. Loose one towards Dhaka though. Again, Leicester happy for Domchak to have it. They're closing off any easy balls. They've forced them to go long. The option is Pavlenko, the right back, and there you go, Owen. That's what I guess the idea is. Let the goalkeeper have it, make him go long. You back yourselves to win the header or for the pass not to be right. We can talk about that in the second half now, because the half-time whistle has gone. Evenly matched, really, but Leicester have probably had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They've controlled the ball a lot more, have Leicester, and they've looked better in the in the attacking areas as well. They do need to be wary of the threats that Lviv are able to pose. You know, there's been a couple of free headers from corners, men getting away from their markers, etc. But Leicester, I think, very much on top in this one, but they will be hoping to try and find a little bit more of a creative spark in the second half, because that's what they're just lacking at the moment. That top end of the pitch, real, you know, incisive key passes to get them in behind this very organised and resolute Lviv defence. But they have the quality to do that and open it up, and that's, I'm sure, what Marty Cifuentes will want to see in the second half.
Thank you very much, Owen Palmer-Atkin, on co-commentary for us today here at the Sports Centrum Friedberg. It is goalless between Leicester City and Karpaty Lviv. Back to you guys in the studio.
Leicester City champions. There's a few banners actually in the players. To signal that Leicester are straight back up to the Premier League.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Half-time, Leicester and Karpaty Lviv in today's first pre-season friendly. FC Köln await in the second game, which kicks off at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Of course, we've got you covered here on Fox's Hub. Apologies regarding the quality of picture. We are trying to get an update on that and to try and get that sorted for the second half from the provider out in Austria today. So do bear with us on that. Right, first half thoughts, gents. What did you think? What did you see maybe different? Because this is the first time you've seen Marty Cifuentes football, because you weren't with us at the weekend. What did you think, Matt?
Oh, I was going to say you go first, Tax. I mean, it was pretty standard, wasn't it? Really, I didn't see too much that wildly different from what we've seen previously, but just little tweaks there. I mean, Jerry, we were discussing it as the game was going on. You know, they seem to be quite happy to play the ball forward quite early, mix it up a little bit. There's quite a sort of regular setup in terms of the 4-3-3, but there's movement within the system. Fullbacks look to get high, again reasonably standard. Jerry mentioned about the centre halves going in, having a licence to go in tight on the centre forwards. That might be because they fancy himself in a 1v1 situation against the centre forward. It was not lightning quick, but haven't seen too much going forward really. Little triangles, etc. Canoes is trying to get involved, but the wide players, again, I'm probably stealing Jerry's thunder a little bit, but Jerry, we picked up on it, but Jerry in particular, saying about playing balls earlier into Dhaka. If that's the case, needs more support, whether that's from midfield or, as you mentioned, the wider players, like reading the script a little bit.
Yeah, I think the issue is, if you're going to play the long balls when you've got one recognised centre forward playing in that position, and Dhaka's made a couple of good runs and got a hold of the ball, but he hasn't had any support, and he gets his support from both the wide players or El Khanous or one of the midfielders, i.e. Samari or Ndidi, breaking, not the running behind him, but just to come up and support him. So he's got a, he's got a ball, he's got a pass on. So no problem with that whatsoever. We're playing the ball longer. It's all about then who can you get in and around to make things happen at the business end of the pitch. The tempo's been good. You can see a lot of the players are blowing quite regularly, which is good. That's a good sign. That means that, it's hurting them. They're gaining fitness in the long term out of it. They've got a high press. And you've seen Caleb Okoli come in really tight with a centre forward 2-3 times in the first half, which is something I've not seen before. So you can sort of see what he's trying to implement in regards to keeping the opposition in their own half. I suppose now what we want to see is something a little bit different in regards to the forward play, the combination passes in the final third, on the edge of the final third, between the two midfielders in Samari and Ndidi, and what happens for the forward, El Khanous, Evans, Alves, and ultimately Dhaka.
Just going back to the defensive point of view, though, there's been quite a few loose, stray passes. Is that to do with the fact you got the fullbacks bombing on, so maybe not in a position that they're used to?
I think, again, that just, for me, that just needs a slight tweak. Your fullback should always be an option. If you're a centre-half and you're playing a straight ball, it's not your first option you want to do is go out wide. You want to try and play through the middle if you can. But the problem with a straight ball is you're inviting pressure from the opposition. So you should have that fullback as an option. And when your fullbacks push on early, before that ball's been played, then obviously that takes away that option of giving it. So that's something that needs to be tweaked slightly, as in the fullback needs to wait until the ball goes into midfield, sees that good possession has been retained, and then he can make that run forward and maybe get an overlap in on one of the wide players. So that's just a little tweak here and there about the time all around.
Also, on top of it, with your question there, Lewis, as well, it puts more onus at times on the capabilities in terms of distribution of the centre-halves. More pressure, if you like, but at this level of football, you should be able to cope and find a way out. But you're right on a couple of occasions. Been a little bit loose, but you expect that in pre-season.
Yeah, there are minor tweaks that can be sorted out pretty easily, just sorting that out. But for me, but didn't really see any combination. Now, in fairness, Ukrainian side look a decent outfit. And it's been quite difficult. The pitch isn't helping whatsoever. Well, the roll of the ball, the pace of the ball when it's rolling on the grass.
Well, one of those fullbacks, of course, is Luke Thomas, and he's been speaking to Dan Bates out in Austria.
Everyone's came back quite fit this year. These trips are always intense. Him coming in has really helped. I've had a few team bonding sessions, and I think me and Steffi actually won that.
I'm not so sure it's true, is it?
We've got a good group of players. Everyone wants to work hard before we're at the season, so it does fly by these 6 weeks. We'll be ready.
Luke, we obviously checked in with you, didn't we, earlier in pre-season at Seagrave, because obviously the manager was coming in and we weren't really able to talk too much about him. What have you made of him, and how much has this week been about him getting his message across, him getting his tactics across?
Him coming in has really helped get the team together, and obviously we've not got too long to get the team playing how he wants it to be playing. So this week's been mainly about that and him showing his style. And he's came in and we've had a meeting every morning really, but I think that's how he wants to show what we're going to be doing in training, which makes it a lot easier to explain rather than having to do it on the pitch and show players, which obviously puts it in the players' heads before training. You know what you're going into and what we're working on. So yeah, it has been good.
And the lads have been really receptive to it. Everything we've seen is everyone's intently listening, whether it's in a session or wherever it might be here just at the hotel.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've got a good group of players as it is, and everyone wants to work hard and bring their best to the training sessions and games. So hopefully by the first game we'll all be ready and we can get off to a good start.
We've shown a lot, obviously, about you guys and what you've been getting up to in the hotel in your downtime, because I guess that's the point with trips like these, isn't it? That you're all together, you spend an awful lot of time together, and that is a good thing, isn't it? And it's a chance for you all to grow closer as a unit.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a few team bonding sessions. Obviously, we went to the bowling the other day, which was good. And a lot of the lads, we have groups, we play Uno, we have our Nintendo Switches where we play Mario Kart. So yeah,
that can get pretty hairy. We'll be that, I don't know, about 50 feet from you in the hotel, and we'll just suddenly hear uproar. What's that usually about?
So we do like 2 teams, so we've got 3 of it, 2 teams of 3, and we'll play against each other over 6 races. And yeah, it's quite competitive, as you'd expect for a football team. Everyone's quite competitive, but yeah.
Every game you have, there's that edge, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely. Everything we do, I think as players, you have that in you anyway to be competitive. No matter what you do, you always want to win. So yeah, we definitely have had that over the week.
And paddle as well. Obviously, there was that a rest day for players who had the option to do what they wanted. There was a big group of you that went and played paddle. Again, that got pretty intense at times, pretty competitive.
Yeah, I enjoy playing racket sports outside of football myself, to be honest. So it was good to go there on the day off, and yeah, that definitely got competitive as well. So, and I think me and Steffi actually won that, so we'll take that.
I'm not so sure that's true, is it? But yeah, you just need that though, don't you, as a group sometimes, that on that rest day, the day off that you had, to be able to just almost take your mind a little bit off football, because it is quite an intense time to be concentrating on just football.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think these trips are always intense football wise, so when you get them down days, it's important to switch your mind off and enjoy something else or something else you'd like to do throughout the day. Yeah,
we've obviously had the one friendly out here so far. There's 2 more to come, both on the same day. I guess from a player's point of view, you're going to get a lot more minutes in this friendly than you have in any of the others, because obviously there are 2 teams. There's just less players to go in each one.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be obviously 2 90-minute games for majority of the players, so it'll be good to get that in the legs going into the last game next week.
Yeah,
when we're back. So when we're back, we've got the last game, and then before you know it, we're at the season. So it does fly by, these 6 weeks. But yeah, we'll be ready.
How did you find the friendly last week?
Yeah, really good. It's obviously pre-season's important to get the minutes in, but also winning games is a key part of that as well, to get the rhythm going into the season. And yeah, we've won every game so far, so hopefully we can keep that going. Yeah,
that is obviously not the key priority, is it? Winning friendlies. It is about the fitness. It's about learning the new style, if you like, from the gaffer. But presumably, yeah, getting that feeling is good of winning games, and getting used to that is good.
Yeah, like I was saying, as footballers, you're all competitive yourselves, ain't you? So you always want to be winning games and getting off to good starts, even in pre-season. So hopefully we can keep that rhythm going and move that into the season.
Yeah, when we spoke to you at Seagrave, you spoke a lot about, obviously, the disappointment from the back end of last season. But for you personally, obviously, being in the team for the last, couple of months, winning games as well at the end of the season, did give you a little bit of momentum coming into pre-season, albeit off the back of a relegation. There was still shoots of recovery, if you like.
Yeah, we did show parts of that towards the end of last year, and everyone's came back quite fit this year.
There we go, Dan Bates talking to Luke Thomas. We had to cut that short because we need to join Batesy again in Austria, because it is the second half against Karpaty Lviv. Let's join the team out there for the second half.
Thank you very much, Lewis. Thank you, Lewis. Akoli. Yes, welcome back for this second half. With me, Dan Bates, alongside me, BBC Radio Leicester's Owen Palmer-Atkin.
Bit of a nervy start for Leicester City, wasn't it? But Stevie Borza doing just enough. Caleb Akoli apologising for the pass back to him in the first instance, but Karpaty Lviv perhaps showing a little bit of intent down pretty early on to try and do to Leicester what Leicester did to them in the first half, which is put them under pressure right from the off.
Yeah, just as you can see on the right-hand side of your screen there are a number of the Karpaty Lviv substitutes warming up. Chachua loses it, but does win a free kick. Lena Hurtle, the referee, surrounded by players at the moment. Some remonstrations from the Leicester players. Bilal El Khanous there doesn't look too happy. But this is a free kick in a dangerous position, Owen, for Lviv.
It is very, yeah, it's in a good position, isn't it? Just to the right of centre, would favour a left-footed effort on goal, but also not out the realms of possibility for a right-footer to have a go at this one. I think Bilal El Khanous is probably, on first viewing anyway, Dan, I've not seen a replay as yet, but on first viewing, I think he probably is a little bit right to feel a bit frustrated with that decision. Looked a little soft.
Yeah. Yaroslav Karabin is the number 19 over this, and it's him that shoots, and what a free kick it is from the 22-year-old, and Karpaty Lviv take the lead thanks to a near-perfect free kick.
It's an absolutely outstanding finish. Over the wall, dip, curve, and right into the top corner as well.
Yeah, Wout fast there, just saying to the referee still that he didn't think it was a free kick. The Karpaty Lviv players won't care, will they? Yaroslav Karabin with a fantastic left-footed free kick into the top corner. No chance for Stevie Borsa. And the Foxes are behind.
Karabin's had to do a lot of running in this game so far. Ordinarily a number 9, a striker down the middle, but being utilised on the right-hand side, chasing after Will Alves and Luke Thomas. It's been tough for him, but he composed himself well there, didn't he? Astounding free kick.
El Khanous.
I think testament to how good the free kick was as well was, I mean, you talked about it, Dan, in the first half, how big Stevie Borsa is as a character, but also physically as well, very, very tall. But the way that Karabin, was able to get that ball up and over the wall with such dip and curve, just left him no chance.
Yeah, that's the difficulty, isn't it? Those free kicks so close to get them up and then down. But he did exactly that. Alves, tricky feet. Swings a really good ball in, Evans goes for it, and a penalty has been given. Jake Evans went for it at the back post. There is a smile for Miroshenko, who doesn't think it was worthy of a penalty, but Evans goes down. The referee immediately points to the spot, and Patson Dhaka has the ball in his hands and a chance to immediately reply.
Well, here's the replay. There is an arm in the back of Jake Evans. I'm not sure the Lviv captain can have too many complaints, really. I think the smile on his face tells all the story.
Patson Dhaka from the spot. Scores. It just creeps under the goalkeeper. Dhaka gets his first none of pre-season. Leicester get their equaliser. That will do his confidence the world of good, Owen, and Leicester right back in this game now.
Yeah, we spoke in the first half about how desperate Patson Dhaka would be to get on the score sheet. You know, he is arguably the only senior number 9 at the club at this moment in time, and will fancy himself to, I'm sure, be the leading striker come the first game of the season as well. Perhaps gets slightly fortunate, the power that Dhaka puts on this ball. It's not right in the corner, but does just enough to get it past the goalkeeper. But an immediate reply, Marty Cifuentes, I'm sure, will be happy with that.
Ndidi. That was classic Wilfred Ndidi, wasn't it? Running, winning the ball back.
Go-go gadget legs, hasn't he? The way that he covers the grass just extinguishes all the fires that appear.
Yeah, last time Leicester were in the Championship a couple of seasons ago, we saw a bit of a changed role for Wilfred Ndidi, didn't we, under Enzo Maresca? Seems to be in there very much as one of the two at the minute, of a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, and it's kind of back, I suppose, to where he will feel slightly more comfortable being as a holding midfielder. That's been his game for a long time, hasn't it? And most of the 303 appearances he's had in a Leicester shirt competitively have been in that holding midfield role. But actually, you've seen the progression of Wilfred Ndidi with the ball, certainly, over the last few years from the kind of Enzo Maresca effects.
Good pressure there from Dhaka and from El Khanous. They force a corner. A couple of the Leicester substitutes on that right-hand side there, warming up. And it'll be El Khanous over to take this corner. No problems for 18-year-old Nazar Domchak. Lviv losing their first choice goalkeeper from last season this summer to Villarreal. So a chance for the 18-year-old Domchak, if it will be him that is given the number 1 shirt.
Leicester have allowed him to have an awful lot of the ball, haven't they, in terms of what we were talking about before, the press that they've put on to cut off the angles, to make him go long, but doesn't look rushed off his feet, does he? Looks pretty comfortable.
Oh, Bouba Samare loses it in midfield. Here come Lviv. And Krasnipol with a little bit of a snatch and an attempt there. Didn't have much choice though, did he? He just had to put his foot through it, and it's gone wide. Thankfully, the mistake from Bouba Samare goes unpunished.
He just tried to strike on the turn, didn't he? There he was left with very little options in terms of getting that strike on goal. Bouba Samare just getting the ball caught a little under his feet. It's not something we ordinarily see from Bouba Samare. Technically very, very good. I just wonder how dry this ground is. Very hot and very humid over the last couple of days, Dan.
Evans, Dhaka, El Khanous. Yes, it's been a very warm camp for the group. A couple of the days last week, we're approaching 32, 33 degrees. El Khanous now to Evans. Lovely feet from the 16-year-old.
Didn't see any sprinklers at half-time either, Dan, so may well be a very dry surface at the moment.
Alves, such a good dribbler of the ball to Chowdhury, now to El Khanous. Indeed, he makes that inside run that we saw so much under Enzo Maresca. This time his cross, when it had been so good during that championship season, this time wasn't quite on the mark. Kiernan Dewsbury Hall's goal at West Brom springs to mind from one of those inside runs from Ndidi, clipping the ball back up.
Yeah, those underlapping runs are so effective. You see how effective they are from a Manchester City standpoint as well in the Premier League, and clearly a tactic that Enzo Maresca worked on with Pep Guardiola. Become a bit of a mainstay in many teams, actually. Hamza Chowdhury, though, not happy with that challenge on.
No, well, I think the Lviv players themselves were equally unhappy with the referee. It was Kostenko, the left winger. Let's have a look here. He puts his arm across Okoli, doesn't he, across his face. And the Italian goes down, wins his side a free kick. And he's up and okay. I think we're imminently going to see a change from Lviv.
Plenty of movement in their technical area. will be interesting to see how Martí Cifuentes chooses to use the bench that he's got at his disposal as well in this game, Dan, knowing that there is the clash with FC Cologne a little bit later on today. Lots of young players, I'm sure, will be hoping to make an impact.
Samare. Dhaka is offside. Chachua. Back now for Pedroso. Alves. Turns, just about keeps his footing, finds Thomas. Fast now. El Khanous. Samare, good touch from Ndidi. Slightly behind Evans. Can he produce?
Well, Alves has really grown into this game, hasn't he? Struggled a little in the first half, being marshalled well. Seems to have found a little bit of rhythm now, though.
El Khanous, lovely. Pass equally as good. There's that underlapping run this time from Chowdhury. Evans, though, decides to keep hold. Chachua. Lovely touch. And it's deflected just wide. Well, Krasnipor there, the first touch was impeccable. Fast followed the run, got the block in, and it just went past the post.
Did really well out fast just to use that outstretched leg to try and deflect the ball wide.
It was Karabin, actually, the goal scorer that was in, and it is his last action. He's coming off. And it's new signing, signed yesterday, actually. Paulo Vitor, who comes on. He's on loan from the second division in Portugal. They've got an option to buy him at the end of the season. So he'll be wanting to impress another Brazilian here in the Ukrainian league. The new number 7 for Lviv. Borsa does well to claim that in front of a couple of bodies.
Speaking to one of Stevie's former goalkeeper coaches, Mike Stowler, a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying how brave he is as a goalkeeper, how much he would put his body on the line for this football club.
Yeah, he's a big Leicester fan himself. I'm sure he'll be feeling very proud today. Alves with the ball in. 2 young goalkeepers on show here. Domchak for Lviv, but yeah, Stevie Borsa will be disappointed, obviously, in conceding, but there was no blame attached to him at all. It was a fantastic free kick to beat the 20-year-old. But everything he has been asked to do, he's done well today.
He has. He's looked more comfortable with the ball at his feet, and he had, of course, he gave the ball away, didn't he, against Peterborough United in that first pre-season game, but looks more comfortable, looks he looks like a player who's really growing into be a first teamer.
Sorry, Owen, I thought that was going to sneak through for Dhaka. Yes, Mads Hermansen obviously still, we know, not yet recovered from the surgery he had at the back end of last season. Back in training though, the Dane. Triple change coming for Leicester. Thomas, Marçal and Ben Nelson. 3 more academy graduates. Replacing 1 previous academy graduate in Jake Evans. Caleb Okoli comes off. And Will Alves is the 3rd player to depart. So it looks as if Marçal's coming across to this left-hand side. Thomas over on the right, and Nelson, of course, in central defence.
Another big opportunity in this final half an hour or so, Dan, for those youngsters to show what they can do.
Here is Thomas, scored a fantastic goal, didn't he, against Peterborough. Cut inside off the right, rifled it into the top corner. Here's Ndidi. Good looking ball, slightly over Marçal. Bruninho to his compatriot Vitor, but the ball rolled out of play over on that far side. Fast. Very much hear every word, Owen, can't we, really, of whether it's the coaches or the players. Cifuentes, a number of times we've seen, he said last week that he lost his voice. That's given away by Ben Nelson. Samari does well to get back there. Yeah, Cifuentes, a lot of shouting, a lot of talking. He's clearly that kind of manager.
It's good to see how much he gets involved on the training pitch as well. When we sat down to talk with him, he said if you'd come a couple of days ago, we would have had to have cancelled the interview because he literally could not talk.
Thomas. Dhaka. Thomas again. Neatly done. Out to Marçal. His ball in for Dhaka. Can he get it back across? He was unlucky there, Patson Dhaka. It's good goalkeeping in the end, but if he could have just maybe lifted it over the goalkeeper, then Thomas and Ndidi, El Kanous were arriving in the box.
Yeah, goalkeeper did well, didn't he? To close down that angle from Patson Dhaka. Was given a bit of a task by Wanya Marçal.
And slightly too much on it, wasn't there, from Marçal? Miroshichenko. Chachua. Bruninho. Vitor. Nelson gets there, but not for the first time. The substitute on debut caught offside.
Ben Nelson's another one of those players, isn't he, that's come back from his loan spell, and when he went out looked like an academy graduate, an academy product, youthful, lots of excitement around him. But now he's returned. Looks like a first-team professional footballer. Just the way he holds himself
really well built,
yeah.
Tall, he's a perfect centre-half build, isn't he?
Really good with the ball at his feet as well.
Yeah, it was a shame that his loan was cut short due to injury. Ben Nelson, he was well liked at Oxford. Borsa.
Lots of exciting academy products coming through, isn't there?
There's a really good crop at the minute.
Particularly towards the top end of the pitch, but good to see, you know, a very, very tall, very strong, very elegant centre-half coming through as well. All over the pitch, these academy products.
Fass. Swept out nicely to Thomas. Good first touch. Acceleration is also good. Silko Thomas just couldn't get through the defenders. Spent some time on loan with Wigan last season. Hamza Chowdhury takes the shot. Would have been spectacular from Hamza Chowdhury there, but again, winning the ball high up. That's the right back winning the ball back on the edge of the opposition penalty area. Chachua. Chachua again. Pavlenko. Far too much on that cross. A couple of substitutions now for Lviv. Off goes Miroshichenko, the captain by the looks of things, unless he's wandering over for a drink. I think that might actually be the case. Igor Krasnipor, though, the striker, certainly is going off there. As is Braninho.
Looked bright, Braninho. Caused a few problems in the midfield, didn't he, for Leicester?
Chowdhury. The referee letting a couple of challenges go there. Eventually it goes out for a Lviv throw. Indeed, he originally wanted a free kick. Then I think the Lviv players did off Silko Thomas. Nothing doing in either event. Pavlenko. Kostenko gives chase. Had no support. Marcel can sweep up. Yeah, wherever you look, really, you see academy graduates, Owen, don't you? And hopefully future stars at this club. We know for that game against Cologne this afternoon, we're likely to see Jeremy Monga, Louis Page, Jaden Joseph, Bade Aluko. These are all very young players that Leicester are coming through, and they seem very excited by the current crop.
Yeah, the pick of the lot as well of Jeremy Monga just looks so exciting every time he
There's
plays.
El Canoes in behind. Sorry, Owen.
Yeah, Jeremy Monga, every time he plays, every time he picks up the ball, he just looks exciting, doesn't he? The pace in which he moves with it doesn't look and play like a 15, 16-year-old, does it? Already has
Yeah,
that
the ball's
ball
glued
maturity.
to his feet. Really is. El Canoes over this one arm raised. Still one arm raised for the Moroccan. Eventually takes. Nelson might have a chance here on the edge of the box. Ben Nelson does shoot, blocked. Has a goal against Marti Cifuentes to his name, Ben Nelson. Marcel at the back post heads it straight to the goalkeeper. Yes, his senior goal coming in the championship in a 2-1 defeat to Cifuentes' QPR side at King Power Stadium during the championship winning campaign. Nicely taken by Fedor in midfield.
Do love that aggressive play from Nelson at the top end of the pitch as well.
Borsa. Nice from Hamza Chowdhury. Pedrosa. Game's just drifted slightly, Owen, since the 2-minute spell of goals at both ends of the pitch.
Yeah, I think you can begin to tell that again that this is very much an exercise in bringing fitness into the players' legs, and Leicester, the intensity maybe just dropping a little. Maybe why Marti Cifuentes decided to bring a couple of substitutions on, maybe just to freshen things up at the top end of the pitch.
And it looks like he's about to do so again. Here's Thomas. Well played, Bilal El Khanous. Slips it in now for Patson. Dhaka on his left foot, fantastic, gets his second of the game. Well, it just shows you what confidence of a goal can do. He slid the penalty under the goalkeeper at the start of this second half. Fantastic play there from Bilal El Khanous. There's a smile from manager Marti Cifuentes and a smile from Patson Dhaka as well, who thanks to the Moroccan El Khanous for sliding him in, and then he's done ever so well with his left-footed finish beyond the goalkeeper. Leicester take the lead.
Bilal El Khanous take a bow, that's a brilliant bit of play, and then to slide in, it's a perfect way to pass, and Patson Dhaka, that is pure instincts from the striker. Head down, one little look up at the goalkeeper to see where he is before finding that bottom corner. It's a great finish, but Bilal El Khanous showing his class once more. And that's the spark they were looking for down in the first half that didn't come, and as they've grown into this game, Bilal El Khanous has, you know, really found a rhythm. Will Alves was beginning to do the same.
Off goes Thomas and Chowdhury, and the armband from Wilfred Ndidi is placed on Ben Nelson. That's a nice sight. Jayden Joseph will come on at left back. Extremely versatile young man, Jayden Joseph, can pretty much play any position on the pitch. Woyo Koulibaly goes in at right back.
Wilfred Ndidi, a big smile on his face as well when he was giving the armband to Ben Nelson.
There is a great team morale in this group at Leicester, and another example of it there. Here's Joseph with his first action. It's a good one. He blocks the cross. Pavlenko, though. Two JJs now in the Leicester squad. We'll see Justin in action later on, I'm sure, against Cologne.
I remember Ruud van Nistelrooy talking about Jayden Joseph last season, the young JJ, as he called him. And again, similar in the fact that, you know, as a right back, can play left back as well.
A little bit too much on that cross. Can Thomas break away? Dhaka is supporting Thomas now. Vitor gets back. Thomas finds Dhaka. Dhaka goes back again for Thomas. Neat play from those two on the right-hand side, combining. So Thomas can keep it in, and he can win himself a corner.
It's great play by Thomas down the right-hand side. Really good at opening his legs, isn't he, and being aggressive, running into the corners. And has done well there.
Elkanou's very much the set-piece man, providing a lovely assist from open play just a few moments ago for Patson Dhaka. What can he do now from this corner? Nelson towering over his marker, number 26, with the armband on for the Foxes. They go short, though. Here's Silko Thomas. Back again for Elkanous. Towards the edge of the box. Indeed, he could have left that for Jaden Joseph. Takes the shot anyway. Here's Nelson, just wide. That was a chance for the young central defender there. And he almost squeezes it past the post. Jaden Joseph will have wished indeed he had dummied the ball. Here's the chance though for Nelson. It's a good effort. The keeper was certainly beaten, wasn't he? But his effort just couldn't find the bottom corner. It was always heading away from goal. Nelson, good strength. Oh, lovely play as well. Excellent from young Ben Nelson. Exactly what Owen was saying just a moment ago, that he's so strong and also so good on the ball. So calm again there to find Ndidi. Here's Koulibaly. Wide for Thomas. Dhaka. Renewed vigour and zip about Patson Dhaka in this second half. Amazing what one goal can do, let alone two. It's fast. Elkanous harried and does lose it. Fedor. Fedor fouled there. Samari disappointed, I think. He does help Fedor to his feet. A little bit further out this free kick to the one that saw Lviv take the lead. Right at the very start of the second half. They weren't ahead for long though, before Patson Dhaka equalised from the spot. And then the Zambian doubled his tally midway through the second half. And the flag has gone up here, I think. It was a good effort, actually, really, from the free kick. We saw Elkanous put a similar one in the first half. Samari couldn't quite get to it. Yeah, he has gone slightly early, and it did go wide. Borsa had it covered. A raft of changes, again, for Karpaty Lviv. Off goes Chachua, the number 11 there, the captain, of course. Miroshichenko has made a couple of senior squads for Ukraine. Has never got out onto the pitch, but he was in the squad that played against England at Wembley not so long ago. A whole new back four now for Lviv. Nelson striding forward, finding Thomas. Fass. Well taken from Koulibaly. Fass to Nelson. Looking long for Marçal. How's his touch? It's excellent. Wanya Marçal. One way, then the other. It's ball to the back post. A little bit too much on it, but great play from the young man.
Brilliant touch from Wanya Marçal.
Yeah, Dhaka would have been eyeing a hat-trick, wouldn't he, if the cross was slightly better from Marcel.
I'm sure he still will be.
Yeah, 9 minutes to play here in Austria before we all head to Graz and the Mercure Arena for this double header for your Fridays back home. FC Cologne will await a second Leicester squad. A game you can again watch with us, just as you're doing now on YouTube and on Fox's Hub. Loose touch from El Kanous in midfield.
Yeah, it's going to be another good test for Leicester, isn't it? The chance to play against the Bundesliga side in Cologne.
Yeah, you can see, and you see it most pre-seasons, don't you? Just the steady incline, if you like, in quality of opposition, ending, of course, with Fiorentina. We know they're a big club over in Italy. Tickets still available for that one at King Power Stadium, the final pre-season game the Foxes will play before that opening day match against Sheffield Wednesday. But yes, a week on Sunday. Tickets available at King Power Stadium. Last chance to see the Foxes in friendly action this summer.
It'll be a really good opportunity to see where they are, won't it, against Fiorentina, in terms of the fact that it's probably going to be one of the toughest games they will play this season against an Italian club of that size, that kind of quality, the expectations they will have, to see how much they have taken on from Martí Cifuentes.
A little bit of pinball in the Leicester box, and Borsa showing strength, and again he's not afraid of anything. Borsa there, he's happy to get involved. Certainly not a shrinking violet. Here's Koulibaly, loose touch from him.
It's good to see though from Borsa, the desire to want to get Leicester City on the break quickly. Will take anyone out by any means necessary in order to make that happen.
Timur plays it forward. Fedor now in midfield. Vitor. Dhaka, even after 84 minutes of harrying and chasing, he's still willing to do so now. Just over 5 minutes to play.
You wonder, with Patson as well, because of the injury he picked up in the last pre-season, how much that kind of stumped the ability for him to pick up any momentum last season as well, and actually a good pre-season this year, what that might be able to do for him. Especially getting on the score sheet twice today as well. That will do him no end of good.
Alvarez. Vitor. Up against Koulibaly, Vitor gets away, but then one touch too many from the Brazilian. Not happy with himself.
Yeah, just had a quick look up, didn't he, as he was able to get himself close to the byline and hesitated.
El Kanous. Marcel does well. Koulibaly. Ndidi.
You see the tired legs setting in now. A few tired passes from both sides.
Samare now. Yeah, it'd be the first time that any one of the Leicester players will have played 90 minutes so far in this pre-season, and you can sort of tell, can't you, with a couple of players. Elkanou's just below us here on this right-hand side. He's done an awful lot of running, as has Samare in midfield, as has Ndidi. We've mentioned Dhaka's pressing. And he'll keep running now still, Patson Dhaka. And he's got a... Oh! Well, I thought there was a chance if he'd have potentially carried on there, Patson Dhaka. It was a handball, a clear handball by Timur, but maybe he could have got on the end of that.
Yeah, it actually set up the through ball quite well for him, and this replay will tell us a little bit more. It's done well, Patson, just to apply the pressure, but he was already on the half turn and would have been in behind there. It's a strange decision, especially for a striker on 2 goals in this game.
Elkanou stands over it.
All forgiven, though, if Bilal Elkanous rattles this one into the top corner.
Nice header into Joseph. Fast now. Koulibaly. Borsa. Very late substitution here for Lviv, as the clock nears itself to 90 minutes. Nears itself to the end of Leicester's 4th pre-season game of the summer. The 5th will follow very shortly this afternoon, as the whole squad travels up to the Mercure Arena in Graz. FC Cologne awaits. Watch it with us. You think Marti Cifuentes will be happy with what he's seen today, Owen?
On the whole, I think when you come away from a pre-season game like this, and as you say, many of these players have got 90 minutes in their legs. Some of them have, have got, a good 25, 30 minutes as well. They've continued the evolution. Couple of goals. I think he will be slightly disappointed with the fact that they went behind, even though it was a great strike. On the whole, though, I think it's a productive morning's work, isn't it? In amongst the beautiful backdrop that we're sat with, Dan, looking over the bit of a secluded Austrian countryside.
Yeah, it's been a great setting for Leicester's pre-season camp.
And another win as well.
Leicester go short again. Here's Elkanous. I think both sets of players just waiting for the final whistle to go now. Yes, on another, as Owen says, another Leicester win.
If they're able to get through that game a little later on as well, down against Cologne with no injuries, it'll be another bonus for Marti Cifuentes.
saw, just holding the ball at his feet now. Indeed, he's just had a little word with the referee there in the centre circle, just
please
reminding her that it's a pre-season game. We're past the 90-minute mark now. And the lads have got to turn around pretty quickly to head up to Graz. Every game available this season on Fox's Hub. Number of passes available for you already. International seasonal video passes available, as our seasonal listen live passes as well. You won't miss a minute with us on Fox's Hub this season, and it all starts, of course, in just over 2 weeks' time. Sheffield Wednesday at home to kick off the new championship season. Hopefully this pre-season form as well can continue into the regular season.
That will be the aim for Marti Cifuentes, won't it, to continue this momentum. And everyone knows in the championship you need a good start if you want to be at the top end of the table. Leicester had it last time, didn't they, under Enzo Maresca, and they'll be aiming for a similar start to this season.
Borsa's kick had 2 targets in Ndidi and Thomas, just over the head of Thomas, who spent some time on loan again last season. Another successful loan for him. It seems to have worked in the last few seasons for Leicester. We saw Will Alves go to Cardiff, get minutes in the championship as well, albeit there was a relegation at the end of that. The full-time whistle, though, does go here at Sportplatz Friedberg. Leicester's winning start to pre-season continues. They've won this one 2-1, 2 goals for Patson Dhaka. He'll be really pleased, Owen, won't he, with that, and their group can continue this confidence now. Hopefully we see another win again this afternoon in the second game of the day, but Cifuentes will be a happy man with what he's seen so far.
Yeah, I think so. They've got themselves another win in pre-season, got themselves a couple of goals for Patson Dhaka as well, who is having photos down in front of us with a number of the young locals who have had a little bit of a mini pitch invasion there to get on and get some selfies with the Leicester City players. But another good workout for the Foxes, another good win as well, and no injuries. So I think a successful pre-season outing here in Friedberg.
Yep. Thank you everyone for joining us here and watching along with us in Friedberg. Leicester have won 2-1 thanks to 2 goals from Patson Dhaka. With all of the reaction and the highlights, we've got the guys in the studio who will also look ahead to today's second pre-season game against FC Cologne.
Leicester City champions. There's a few banners actually in the players. Yeah, to signal that Leicester are straight back up to the Premier League.
Red Bull gives you wings.
There we go. First game of the day done for Leicester City and first win in the bag.
Yeah. Listen, you just seen the highlights really there, and obviously there was a lot more action in regards to Leicester being in the final third of the opposition. So that's obviously a positive. The 2 goals, clearly a positive, and for Patson Dhaka in particular. So yeah, I think, the second half in particular was obviously a few tweaks at half time from the manager and the staff. And it seemed to work in that second half.
Yeah, you wanted to see a bit more going forward, Matt.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I thought that would be the case. I thought Leicester would come on stronger, certainly have more advances in that second half. But it was quite an even contest, though. At both ends, there weren't a hatful of chances either way. But slight improvement, a bit more pressure in that final third, as Jerry says, a bit more sort of creativity, invention there, and that was sort of encapsulated by Leicester's second goal, which was the best move of the match. Obviously, it was finished off well, but it was it popped into Kanoos. No surprise that he's the instrumental there, but it was well timed run by Dhaka and tucked away nicely. But listen, it's not the be all and end all, but it's nice to get the win. Of course, whether it's a friendly or not. Different things worked on, but quite a few things to look at as well, I suppose, for the manager.
I think, in the first half we were talking about the combinations between the likes of Samari and then moving forward. And that second goal epitomises what we were talking about at half time. Came to fruition. The ball from Samari, good use of his feet, little slide ball into Kanoos. And then Kanoos and Patson Dhaka linking up, and that's what we wanted to see a little bit more of, and we got it, and it ended up ultimately in Dhaka sticking it away. So perfect scenario.
Yeah, it's funny. What I was actually looking at myself when the ball was out wider with Samari. I was thinking Patson Dhaka's show, give an extra option because he's just standing away from it. The ball was, ironically, it's played into Kanoos, and it was a bit of a short pass actually, which made the opponent slide in and make the challenge. Subsequently, Kanoos can nip away from him, creates the space. Then Dhaka made his run then. But it was good to see sort of some form of link-up play, stroke combination, bit of ingenuity there. Because and also, I thought second half, one of the prominent features for me was balls coming into the box, which is all well and good. They were good deliveries, both from right side with Hamza Chowdhury in particular and Alves on the left, which brought about the penalty decision.
Yeah.
More people getting in the box, though. You need more than just Dhaka, who's already sort of semi-stationary there. We need other players getting in on the end of them. But if that's a policy from the manager, directness will serve them well.
Let's take a look at the goals, the defining moments from today's game. We can start with the goal, of course, which came from the home side, which we weren't expecting at the start of the second half. And where it goes, well, actually, this is that winning goal from Patson Dhaka, and
we're doing it in reverse.
We're going to do it in reverse. Yeah, let's go for the one that sealed the win for Leicester. El Khanouchi, you said, really played a huge part.
Yeah, a great piece of skill here, just to clip it up over the defenders' advances. And what Patson Dhaka does well here is he doesn't run into that space too early. He keeps that space. He knows he's got the beating of the defender. Defender's slightly marking the wrong side. He knows that Dhaka wants it there and he should be across, but that's by the by. I'm here to talk about Dhaka. Dhaka keeps that space for himself. Times are run beautifully. And I say all about the link up as well between Samari, El Khanouchi, and ultimately Dhaka. And that's what I think, we wanted to see a little bit more of. We didn't really see that in the first half. And when we did see it, it ended up in a goal.
Is there something about the instinctive nature of the finish? You didn't have too much time to think about it and had to take it on, whereas we did see an earlier chance in the first half where he dragged it wide, but maybe had a bit more time on his hands to think about that.
No, just thinking about those two situations myself, really. It's certainly more convincing on his left foot, which is his less favoured foot, compared to the one in the first half, where it was a little bit, not half-hearted, but there wasn't
conviction.
Didn't seem like there's a real genuine belief that he was going to find the bottom corner. it was like a strike towards goal. Indifference there with the left foot strike. You say it just, I don't know, it came into his path. It was a good timing of the run. And I don't know really. Yeah, he looked more confident with his left foot. Drilled it into the right area. Keeper questionable, but that'll do him a world of good, Dhaka, because he can finish. His consistency hasn't been there as regularly as I'd like for a player who I think is an excellent finisher. Really, that is his forte. The rest of his game probably needs a little bit of work and development, but finishing comes relatively natural to him. But he's struggled a bit over recent times. But pre-season friendly or not, that'll do him good. He's got a big smile on his face, which is usually the case, in fairness. But the things have gone his way today. The penalty wasn't the best penalty. That wasn't convincing, but it's gone in. And on the back of that, even
he'll take a load of confidence.
Even from that penalty will pick him up, and the second goal, even more. He'll go bouncing into the net.
That's a good finish, and it's a good move, and everything that his thought process has come to fruition. Just passing Dhaka's by, not running into the space too early. By the timing of his run, when he does decide to move into that space, and then ultimately to finish into the bottom corner, that will do him the world of good.
And the young fans legging it on the pitch at the end. They went straight to Dhaka.
Go for the goal scorer, don't they?
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, he's the hero of the day. And I thought also he was more prominent as a centre forward than centre forwards have been over recent times for Leicester last season. I know it took maybe different levels of football, but there were quite a few balls that were going into those channels. The centre forward was being utilised a little bit more, I felt, today than previous.
I think that's a clear message. I think what you're saying there is a clear message from the manager. We talked about earlier balls being played forward into those channels, and Patson Dhaka, you can talk about his faults or whatever you want to call it, but what he really is a willing worker and runner, and he's got the pace to get in behind. And you've seen that on multiple occasions today. Just obviously the polished edges, which are sticking the ball in the net. When he needs to regain that confidence that he had when he first came into the club.
Utilise his strength.
Yeah, utilise his strength. And I think the manager understands that, and that's what he's trying to do.
Let's flip things over and talk about the defensive side of things from a Leicester point of view. Of course, they did go behind in this game. It was a wonderfully taken free kick, but let's have a little look at the defending to get to that stage, because there were certain times, I know, listening and sitting alongside you both during the game, you're saying, what's going on positionally and decision-making defensively? Yeah.
Are we going to say it? Am I talking through it or just...
We will do.
Well, I think it started down the right hand. Leicester's right hand side with Hams. He's surrounded by 3 players. He's trying to shield the ball. And here we go. The best case scenario, there are 2 players, is kick it off one of the players, get a throw and get a goal kick. And then this ball here from Wilfred Ndidi, who ultimately gives away the free kick. I mean, after making another mistake, he's trying to play a balls, and with his wicker left foot instead, again, just clear your lines. It's a championship we're playing in next season, and there'll be a lot of teams that will be hunting you down in those types of areas of the pitch when you're looking to play it out. It's pre-season, so it's not a massive issue, but these games are where you get those bad passes and those bad decision-making out of your system. But that is the key issue, or the key factor in this, is you need to learn from that. You can't be playing a ball when there's a guy straight in front of you saying, go and play that ball, and I'm just going to step in and take it.
In the initial section where Chowdhury's kind of shielding the ball and trying to get it out of there, it does eventually break. Is there a complacency with pre-season that normally you would just take that and you wouldn't take that chance?
Yeah. I think that can be a possibility. There can be a difference, in your mentality and your line of thinking there. Because listen, if you're you're 1-0 up away from home, at Carrow Road, for instance, and you're in that situation, Hamza's not going to dilly-dally too often. You'd like to think not. It would be like to play the percentages. But it does creep into your game a little bit in pre-season. You can be forgiven for it, put it that way. Wilfred and Ndidi similarly, he's tried to get the move going where perhaps it wasn't the best percentage pass. But it, as Jerry says, even pre-season or not, it is a little reminder or a big reminder that whatever situation you're in, you've got to be switched on and focused. Make the right. It's all about decisions, isn't it? You get a decision wrong, albeit a relatively small one, it seems at that time, but it can end up being very costly, as was the case in that instance there where they popped the free kick away, exquisite as it was.
I come from a different angle. I'm one of these where you get into good habits in pre-season.
Yeah,
you don't let scenarios like that give you the kick up the backside that you need. Get into these good habits in pre-season, so come the start of the season, you know exactly the decisions in certain situations that you have to make. And there was 2 wrong decisions that led to the free kick. And ultimately, the ball ends up in the back line.
Yeah, let's take a look at that free kick, because it was as you said, very well taken set piece. And a shame for Stevie Bowser in goal, who would have loved a bit of a clean sheet today, but not much you can do about that.
No, that's top quality, to be fair. Not much need for the draft excluder there, was there? But let's have a little look. I noticed
the wall.
That the wall, well, they did jump
turning the back.
a little bit ragged, but a bit scraggy, wasn't it? But that's not a bad strike, is it? There,
someone's come away from
one
the wall.
Came out, didn't it?
Yeah, nicely taken.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it just went. It got a bit
fragmented,
fragmented, didn't it?
Yeah, it got fragmented at the end of the wall where they've jumped, but they've jumped to the side, and it looks like the ball's come through the middle of that wall when the 2 guys on the end have jumped to the side. So again,
all these little bits,
all these where the manager's got to analyse, look at it, and go, well, no, you can't do that. You can jump, but you can't move to the side. That's why you're in a wall. It's not a castle. The turret of a castle where it goes like that. You have to stand, jump, and if it hits you in the face, it hits you in the face.
And with going back to the decision making, or that's embroiled within that, really, you've got to have that discipline, because you can be as good a side as you want, players pretty football, be attractive on the eye, etc., and even be productive. But if you shoot yourself in the foot with little blemishes, then it makes the job that much harder, doesn't it?
And we're always saying in football, it's the minutiae that makes the big difference. So that's a little tiny error. I wouldn't even call it a mistake, but a little tiny error has probably cost Leicester that goal. It's as simple as that. Because it hasn't gone up and over the wall, it's gone through the wall, because someone's jumped to the side and not jumped straight up.
Well, a second Leicester City team will be in action this afternoon from 4 o'clock, and we will have it live for you here on Fox's Hub. They're playing against FC Cologne, and this is, of course, all building up to the first game of the season against Sheffield Wednesday at King Power Stadium, Sunday the 10th of August, and we cannot wait for the start of the Championship season. If you're an international viewer, you can get our early bird offer right now to watch all the games this season on Fox's Hub at an early bird rate. And if you like listening just to the commentary, you can get a listener pass as well via the website lcfc.com. So as I say, we'll be back at 3:45 for the second of today's pre-season friendlies, but the first one started with a victory. We'll see you a little bit later when we'll see if Leicester can get 2 wins from 2.